to this week's edition of Bringing Back the Smile. I hope you're going to enjoy this edition. I hope you've enjoyed previous shows. We got a lot of feedback to last week's show where I interviewed Sherry Dolan. Very inspirational story. So hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't yet watched it, make sure you check it out as well as previous shows before that. And thank you guys for the feedback that you've been sending in. Thank you for your suggestions, your questions, the topics you want to have, recommendations of people who'd like to see me interview on Bringing Back the Smile. Remember, Bringing Back the Smile is literally what it says. I want to have this show where it's a show that brings back a smile to you, allows you to feel in better spirits and better moods so you can bring back the smile to others just from the energy that you give off and just from being in better mood and just from wanting to help other people, because we all have a responsibility to have a positive impact on others. And that's literally the way I live my life. My life is all focused on how can I make a positive impact on other people? How can I make other people feel happy? And in the times we're in, it has never been more important. So do what you can to make other people smile, do what you can to make you smile. It's a win-win situation. I've repeated on every single show so far that the simple act of you even just smiling at someone or acknowledging someone or nodding at someone or saying hi to someone can be the spark that lifts their day. And it will have a positive impact on you too, because you can't smile without feeling better. It's as simple as that. So do what you can to uplift yourself, by music, by your actions, by the things that you're doing, by taking action in your life. And that's what I want to speak about in this edition of Bringing Back the Smile. I want to speak to you about happiness. In general, happiness is what we should be striving for. Societal conditioning has us always focused and striving for money, power, and what it perceives as success and material objects, okay? These are things that society conditions us to believe that we should be striving for each and every day. However, the reality, and striving for them because that's what will bring you happiness. Whereas the reality is, will it bring you happiness? For most people, no, it doesn't. It's like a trap, okay? And it's a trap you can't get out of because, the power, the money, the material things, all these things, like where does the bar end? Like where do you get to the point where you've got there? It's something that isn't there. It's continuously changing. The goalposts are moving. There's always more. There's keeping up with the Joneses. And it's a constant cycle of unhappiness. And I want you to break free of that because you can have happiness. You should have happiness. You deserve happiness, but you have to go out there and make sure that you get happiness. And a big part of achieving happiness is going to be breaking free of societal conditioning. And we're conditioned from such a young age, even 3-4 years of age upwards. We're in the system and it conditions us to question nothing, to just learn answers, to respect authority without any question whatsoever, to accept stuff that we should never accept, and to basically just do what we're told and strive for what we're told or what's put out there is what happiness is and success is and fulfillment is. And like I said, for the vast majority of people, they'll never get there because they're chasing the wrong things. Happiness is an individual thing, just like success is an individual thing. Now, as I said, Bringing Back the Smile is about making you feel better, about making your life experience better, about making you be able to have a more positive impact on other people. Now, if you don't feel good within yourself, if you don't feel happiness, if you don't feel fulfilled, if you don't experience success, all on the level that you want, remember, success, fulfillment, happiness, you have your own perception, just like I have my own perception. We need to strive for our own perception of it. If you're not achieving them and experiencing them, you can't be happy. It's just not possible. And this is why I'm saying you have to break free of societal conditioning of what they mean. You need to decide what your own opinion is and perception is of what they mean to you, because we're all individual. What I may want out of my life could be completely different from what you want out of your life. My main values and beliefs may be completely different than your values and beliefs. But the thing is, are you living a life that's true to your values and beliefs? Are you living a life that's true and on the right path to what will bring you happiness? It's like for me, happiness for me is most important. My son is happy and my son becomes a good person and he's prepared to go out in the world and create his own happiness, his own success, and for me to be a good role model for him as he's growing up. He's 15 now. So that's a massive thing for me. That brings me happiness to see him morphing into the great young man that he is right now and showing a lot of good traits I would like to see in any human, not just my son. So that brings me a lot of happiness. Time with my son brings me immense happiness, more happiness than anything else. The other thing that gives me happiness is making a positive impact on others. So when I get messages back from people who follow me or from clients thanking me from whether it be a post or a conversation or a video or like this, an episode of one of my shows, that gives me huge happiness. People who comment on my posts in a positive way, that brings me happiness. When I see that it's having a positive impact on people, that brings me happiness. It feels like it's my purpose, it's my mission, it's what I'm here for. I feel that we all have a purpose, we all have a reason why we're here. And if you can live a life where you're passionate about what you're doing and live in your true life purpose, that's where you truly experience happiness and success and fulfillment. It all ties in together. Now, I want you to, this is where have a pen and paper or use your phone, the notes on the phone, or whichever it may be. For the rest of the show, I want to go through the main areas of your life as I see it. And I want you to get very clear on what happiness will mean for you in each of those areas and action steps you need to take to create that happiness. Because it's well and good talking about stuff, it's well and good thinking about stuff, meditating about stuff, visualizing things. But if you don't take action, they don't become reality. And I want you to be in huge fear of regret. It's the only fear that we should have in life, regret. And regret that when we get to the end of our days and we're taking our last breaths, that we should have done this and should have done that, and we should have taken that perceived risk, taken that chance, that we shouldn't have lived such a safe life. Life is for living, and I want you to live. And this is where, again, and now more than ever, I'm trying to stress this message to you that you need to live your life, live it fully, not live in fear. Live life, not exist in fear, because that's all people are doing is existing. And before the last 14 months, most people were just existing as well, because they were in the conveyor belt, in the system, where you're just basically a cog on a wheel and you're living a mediocre life, not really getting proper fulfillment. So I want you, first of all, there's 4 areas I always focus on: relationships, mind, body, health, professional life, and financial area. Okay, so these are 4 main areas I see it in life. And what's important for you to do is identify in each what you want, what your goals are. But in terms of your goals, I want you to focus on happiness. For me, happiness is what the goal is. That's what we should always be striving for. What will bring us happiness? Okay. So in terms of your relationships, you got a relationship with yourself. How do you feel with yourself? Okay. And why I'm going through this right now is because if you can get control of the mind, body, health area of your life, if you can get control of taking the right steps towards creating happiness in all the different areas of your life, it's naturally going to bring back the smile. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to then have a positive impact on the other people who are around you, because you're going to start giving off very different energy and much better energy. Okay, this is why it's tying into the whole ethos of bringing back the smile. But if you look at your relationships, firstly with yourself, how do you feel about yourself? What kind of level of self-love do you have? What level of self-awareness do you have? Both of these are superpowers. Like when you truly have self-love, when you truly love yourself and accept yourself for who you are, embrace your uniqueness and love all those elements of you and not care what other people think, it's like a superpower. Just like self-awareness, being truly aware of who you are, what you are, your personal values, your personal beliefs, how you're feeling, being tied into your emotional state, your consciousness, subconscious. When you're truly in tune with these things, that's self-awareness, and that's another superpower. And then you've got your confidence, so feeling confident in yourself. So what's your level of that? Because your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship that you have in your life. People often talk about, the most important people in their life are their kids or their parents or their partner or whoever it may be, some even their dog or their cat. But the most important person in your life is you. Because you, in how you live your life and how you think of yourself, will determine how you impact other people. And that's the power we all have. We all have the power to make a positive impact on other people. So what's your level of self-love and self-confidence and self-esteem at this moment? What's your relationship with yourself like? And what you need to do is you need to start working on that. So what will happiness mean to you in that area? What will happiness mean to you with your relationship with yourself? How will you get to a point where you think, yeah, I feel happy in myself. I do love myself. How about other people? If you've got a partner, or even if you don't have one right now, one you would want to have in the future. Like a good exercise even is to, and it might sound mad, but to literally write down a description of your ideal partner. Who are they? What are they? What are their personality traits? Because look, our relationships are a big part of our life. When we look back on our lives, it's our relationships are going to have been what brought us the most happiness. They're going to bring us the most memories. So it's important that we've got good relationships, good ones with, good connection, good, open, honest communication, fun, of course, happiness. Okay. So what kind of relationship do you want to have? If you're in one right now that isn't really bringing you happiness, how can you start bringing more happiness to it? If you're not in one right now, what will bring you happiness? Maybe you've had some tough times up to this point in terms of relationships. You know what you don't want. and you know what you do want. So what is it exactly that will bring you happiness? Same thing with your kids, if you've got kids, or if you're going to have kids in the future. Same thing if with your family, your parents, if you've got siblings, your friends, your work associates. So what will bring you happiness in the relationship area of your life? So there's a lot of different areas within it, and you may be really good in some and maybe not very good in others. You may have happiness in some and not have happiness in others. So it's important for you to identify where it is that you can improve in each of these. Okay, that's the relationship area of your life. Now, mind body health, which is an absolute crucial one. It ties in as well with your relationship with yourself, because the mind body health is very personal. That it's like body shape. We all have an idea of what we would like to look like. That will bring us happiness. That will make us feel happy. Okay, there's like a societal perception of what you should look like, and it's driven by marketing and media and magazines and the fitness health industry and so on, when that isn't necessarily the case for everyone. People are chasing, like Instagram influencers and stuff, they're chasing this idea of this will make me happy if I look like that, when the reality is they may not even need to get close to that, or they may be chasing an impossible dream. You need to tie into what do you want to look like and be comfortable with that, whatever that is, because again, embrace your own uniqueness, embrace who you are, because that's all that really matters. Okay, so how do you want your body to be? What level of health do you want to be? We should all be striving for optimal health. So what's your level of health right now? What kind of habits do you have in terms of nutritionally, and in terms of what liquid you consume, how much water you consume, what are your lifestyle habits, all these different things that impact your health. So how can you improve them? What will bring you more happiness? Like I would assume that happiness for you would be where you live a long, independent, carefree, vibrant, energetic type life. Okay. Now, what's going to bring that to you? What steps can you take and where you're now to get to that point? And then your mind is absolutely crucial. Remember, your mind's the control tower. So you need to continuously work on how to prime your mind so it's predominantly thinking positive thoughts. That's really important. So it's constantly positive thoughts going through your mind, and how you react to negative thoughts is again in a positive spin. Just like how you react to any situations in life needs to be a positive spin. Okay, so these things are really important, and you don't get to a stage where your mind is always positive, everything's positive. But by working on it daily, like working the muscles of your body, by working on your mind daily and feeding it what it needs, which is positivity and positive energy, you then will be better able to cope with any challenges that you will have in life, which are inevitable. You will always have challenges in life. That's just how life works, like a roller coaster. So you need to get your mind right. This is why I stress to people so much. You need to work on your mind, work on your body, work on your health. That area of life is crucial, because when you work on that area of life and get control of it, it will bring you so much joy. It will bring you so much happiness, because you will feel so good with yourself. That tie into the personal relationship with yourself from the first part of it, saying you will have proper self-esteem, positive self-image. You'll have confidence in yourself. That then will let you drive on to achieve lots more in other areas of your life. And also, when you feel good that way, your brain works better, especially when you're feeding it better. But the mood is better. The chemical balances are better. So all these things are super important in your level of happiness. Like, think about times you've been happy in your life. It's been when you've been carefree, doing something you love, usually with people you love, and feeling good within yourself. This is something that's so important. This is why it's important for you to get to the point where you are in control of your mind, body, health area of your life. Okay, so how can you be better in that area? How can you bring more joy and happiness into your life and putting a focus on that? It's very easy. There's so many little steps you can take to improve your lifestyle. It boils down to lifestyle. And remember, it's your choices. We all have a choice in everything we do. There's no excuses. There are no valid excuses. So stop making excuses. Like, if you're in the kind of blame excuse mentality, that's not going to be a good place to be. That's not going to help you in any way at all. It's definitely not going to bring you happiness. Okay. Professional life. It's another important area of our life. It takes up at least a third of our lives, predominantly. Most people work 8 hours, 10 hours a day. Then you've got commuting. Sometimes people have to work with extra. It's at least 5 days a week. So it's a huge chunk of our life. Besides sleeping, is probably the biggest chunk of our life. And most people, unfortunately, are in careers, jobs, businesses that don't bring them joy, don't bring them happiness. And they want more out of life. They want more out of themselves. They know they can be more, but not taking the steps to make it happen. So if you're not happy in your professional life, make a change. And deciding to change. It could be adding new skills, it could be adding new courses, it could be just quitting what you're doing and going into another field. It could be staying where you are right now for the temporary, starting a side business developing that point, so having a plan and strategy, and then leaving the other one that doesn't bring you joy to put more time and energy into the one that you do enjoy that's growing. Remember, again, I stress it again, you have control. If there's elements of your life that you can't control, you work out solutions above, under, around. There's always a solution. There's a solution to every single problem. Okay. But this area of life is one that people need to really put a focus on, because too many people are living their lives unhappy with their professional life and literally just getting through the week to get to Friday. And then Friday's like this wonderful day where they get a break for 2 days from work. Now, that's not a way to live. You should enjoy every day. Aside from me, the work I do is very demanding. It takes up a lot of my days. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I go to bed about 11 o'clock. Now, that's driven by the amount of work that I need to do. But I love what I do, and I'm passionate about what I do, and it brings me a lot of joy, it brings me a lot of happiness. So a lot of times it doesn't feel like I'm working. So in terms of my happiness in my professional life, it'd be at a pretty high level. Can it be higher? Of course it can. It can always be higher. But that's tied into a lot of goals that I may have, and things I want to do in this space in my professional life. But it brings me joy and happiness every single day because I love what I do. I don't, it's very rare that I have to do something with my work and I think, oh God, I really don't want to do this. Because I enjoy what I do and I choose what I do. Again, that's the thing about working for myself too. I choose what I do. And that's not always the case, even with self-employed. A lot of self-employed, they end up becoming their best employee and they're doing a lot of stuff that they don't necessarily like to do. So if this is you, if there's an area of professional life that you want to change, make that change. Even if it's a drastic change. The main thing is you make that change. All that matters is happiness. I can't stress this enough. You need to focus on happiness. What will bring you happiness? What will bring back the smile? Because think about it as a child. When you were a young child, you were carefree, no worries. You loved life. You loved doing things. You loved being around other kids and stuff. You loved having fun. Life was fun. When you became an adult, maybe it wasn't as much fun. Maybe it's not fun at all right now. Depends where you are right now in your life. But what you need to do is bring back the smile and bring back the fun. And enjoying your professional life is a huge part of that, a really huge part of it. Okay. And then you got the financial area of life, financial freedom, all this type of side of things. And this ties a lot into the professional area because obviously it impacts it. But what's important is for you to decide, what will bring you happiness in the financial area of life. Now, this is a big one to break free of societal conditioning, because societal conditioning tells us that you nearly have to be a millionaire. Millionaire will make you happy. Why do you think so many people do the lotto? They do various lotteries around the world. It's because they believe that if they win, suddenly they're going to be happy. They're going to have everything they want. It's not going to happen. Even if you win, if you're not prepared for it mentally, subconsciously, consciously, all these different areas, if you're not prepared for it, it will destroy your life. And you'll only end up going back to where you were in the first place. And also, do you need to be a millionaire? No, you don't need to be a millionaire. No, if you be a millionaire, it's great. But do you need to be? No. Think about what you need to survive, like the basics, to have food, to have shelter, to be able to just, again, do the basics. And then have a little bit surplus, just basic living to be happy, because you don't have to have things or loads of money to be happy. They help. Money gives you freedom. See, again, societal condition is about us needing money. You need money to be happy. If you don't have money, you can't be happy. That's what it sells us. But when you see a lot of the happiest people in the world, they don't often have much. Some people have nothing. You see even some tribes or even homeless people in India and places like that, and someone, because we're oblivious to the material world we live in, they actually think everything's cool. That's what they're used to, that's their life, and they're actually very happy. It's when we bring in the materialistic and the consumerism into our psyche, that's where happiness tends to decrease. And then when you bring in societal conditioning of telling you what you should do and what success means and what happiness will be and how much money you should have and what things you should have and the size of your house and the size of the car and so on, that's where happiness starts to dwindle. And that's where we're chasing an impossible dream, and a dream where the goalposts keep moving all the time. So you need to decide, what's a happy level of income for me? It might just be that you can pay your bills and then you're happy. It might be you can pay your bills, but also you've got enough to go on 3 or 4 holidays a year. It could be that you buy a new car every year. Whatever it may be for you, we're all different. Like, remember that. We're all different in what we want out of life. So you need to, get, as I said, tie into what will make you happy. So you got the 4 areas. So you got relationships, you've got your mind, body, health, you got your professional life, and you've got your finances. Those 4 areas. Get very clear on what will bring you happiness in each of them. Because like I said, the end goal is happiness. We want to get to happiness. That's what will bring back the smile. That's what will give you a buzz. That's what will make you feel good. What are they? Get very clear on them. Write them down. and then decide what are the action steps that I need to take to get there. And most importantly, what is the next action step I need to take? It's great having a vision ahead and look ahead. That's cool, that's important. But it's also very important that you think of what's the next step. The next step is the one that matters most. So focus on what is the next step I can take, and take that, and then take the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And keep doing that. And once you keep taking positive steps in the right direction, success becomes inevitable, which means happiness will become inevitable. Once you've put your happiness onto something that is truly will make you happy. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope this has made sense to you. Again, to just a simple exercise that you do just to write out things and then decide the steps. And most importantly, go into action mode. It's most important you go into action mode. Guys, I want you to be happy. I want you to be smiling. I want you to live life. I want you to get away from negative emotions. I want you to get away from societal conditioning. I want you to live a happy life, one that's fulfilling for you, one that you see as being successful. Remember, it's all your own perception. We're all different in what we think is successful and happy and fulfilled. You need to strive for it. You have to be clear. You have to have a vision. You have to be clear on what it does mean to you, and then you need to go and take steps to make it happen. Okay, so that's the end of this week's Bringing Back the Smile. I hope that has helped you. It's a little bit different to previous episodes, but I thought it was important to kind of do this exercise, this little training, like a little workshop, to help you to get very clear on what happiness means to you. If you do this exercise and you take action on it, you will be bringing more happiness into your life. And isn't that all that matters? And when you bring happiness into your life, you will naturally bring happiness into others, because when you're giving off the right energy, you're going to have a positive impact on other people. And isn't that what will make this a better world? And that's all that matters. So not only will your life improve, other people's will as well. You can be the role model and the spark for other people. Okay? So as I said, hope you enjoyed it. Share this episode out there far and wide. People need to get these messages. Let us know your feedback. Either contact me directly or contact Leader Media TV. Same as any questions you have, same as any topics you'd like us to cover, guests you'd like us to invite onto the show, or if you'd like to be a guest yourself, let us know. Again, I want to interview people with inspirational stories. I want to have people on who've got talents, whether it be with music or comedy. So, again, anything that brings back the smile, makes people feel better, anything that's uplifting. So get in touch and have an awesome week, and look forward to speaking to you next week for our next episode of Bring Back the Smile.